it's got to come a point where it starts to chill out and consolidate or retrace or whatever it may be. And for those, so like you have to understand how the market behaves. Like it's gonna start accumulating or distributing before a move takes place. Like it's gonna behave in a certain way. The candlesticks will move a certain way before something takes place. You will never 100% truly know what's gonna happen, but what you can do is build your list of confluences for why you believe this will happen.
Yeah. So you start to build that narrative, that story.
The story.
And then you can still be wrong, but at the end of the day, you did your due diligence, you were patient, you didn't just jump in. I'm sure, was that something that you struggled with in terms of that impulsive nature? Was there a time where you just jumped in and then you just kind of had to...
Yeah, in the beginning for sure. There was times that I just jumped in, but I feel like the moment... After my first year, I started seeing results from trading, risk to reward, supply and demand, order blocks, etc. So yeah, after my first year, that's when I started seeing reward. But in the first year, it was bad. Very, very. I lost everything in my first year.
It's not easy.
Definitely not easy. And that was before I came across prop firms or anything. So I lost grands and grands and grands and grands of my own money that I was putting in. Cleaning toilets, mopping floors, getting that cash, putting it into a trading account, losing everything, until I came across risk to reward and I started journaling and I started understanding why my psychology is the way it is because of my bad habits, writing down why am I like this, why am I being impatient on the markets, why am I acting as if I make 4 or 5 grand a month from my day job, and when I see 4 or 5 grand floating, I'm not trying to close it. Because I feel like, because it's trading, I'm treating it differently now. Bro, it's real life. People have real life issues they need to solve. If you're seeing that much profit floating, take it home. Take that profit until you fix the situation where 4 or 5 grand can now become, an average day. You can be grateful for that.
Just like the levels.
Yeah, just the levels, yeah. So move up in levels. The problem is with trading, people see the possibilities and they want to go from here to here straight away. And it don't work like that, man. It's a journey. Life is all about the journey. So yeah, I feel like after my first year was very, very bad. My second year is when I started seeing results.
And you mentioned prop firms there. So in that second year, did you still use sort of a personal to begin with, like your personal account to begin with?
I've always used a personal account. So I was just adding to my personal account.
Okay.
However, when I came across prop firms, I didn't really feel like I was smart enough because I thought it required so much like from trading to pass a prop firm exam. So what happened was I actually did the funding talent. Have you come across?
Yeah, I remember them.
Bro,
I hate them.
Bro, I've done funding talent.
And then they
passed it in a day, one trade. The second trade, I passed it in one trade. Got the live account. Bro, I made 65k on US 30 floating in a day. Furthermore, let me show you 1 second, yeah, because I really want to show you this. Gmail. I asked for a withdrawal from the 65k. I was up 75k on total account, but just for that trade, I was up 65k on US 30. Yeah. Here we are. Funding talent.
Whilst you're getting that up, for those who don't know, Funding Talent was a prop firm, and they were quite popular at one point. And I had my own story with them where I got max funded with them, and then the week after they decided to close down their funding sort of aspect branch of the prop firm,
Literally, so this Funding Talent support withdrawal account number. Hi guys, I saw the email regarding the changes. I would like to request my first and final payout of $72,229. I would like to receive it in Bitcoin, and I'd like to ask, where do I send my address to and when can I expect my payout? I was looking forward to working with you guys, but your new model doesn't fit my trading style. Account number, kind regards. And that was September 30th. So they paid me out £1,250.
Yeah. So they changed the model to like
72k.
What was it, 5% or something?
And what they did was they said the latest withdrawal date is this day, this time. And I submitted way before. But because I submitted quite, obviously a crazy amount, 72k, they were trying to brush that to the side. And they only replied to that after they closed.
Yeah.
But for them, I wasn't even annoyed. I was annoyed, but I didn't really take it to heart because I was like, you know what? What this has done for me is, like, I can't put it into words because it gave me so much fuel. And that's when I became like a beast in the markets. Like I really became the best possible version of myself after that happened, because went with MFF, passed straight, withdrawal. You know, and it's only 3% of people get to the withdrawal. So for me, it was like, if that situation didn't happen, I don't know if I would have been...
I pushed yourself.
Yeah.
Did it give you that fuel then to push yourself further?
Yes, because it's like, I held that trade for 9 hours. And my friend was telling me, yo, close for 50K. I said, no, I believe in my analysis. You know? So I still had elements of, like, it's cool, I'm up 50K. I'm going to wait for it to go to 80K. That was my overall TP. But once it took some liquidity at 65K to trade, I took profit, because I was like, let me not be unreasonable here. 65K in a day. I've never done that before. Let me take it. But it's a shame that I wasn't able to get that payout from them.
It was the same time, yeah. So that's exactly what happened to me. I just got max funded with them. And what I did was I passed 100K. And I was like, okay, and I did one payout, and I was like, okay, they seem legit. I had other students who were getting big payouts as well. I was like, yes, it's legit. So let me get max funded. So I spent a little bit of time getting the max funding. As soon as I got it, the week after, the same thing happened. They just changed the model, changed all the rules.
Company.
Exactly,
Nonsense,
yeah. That was crazy. Yeah. That was a crazy one. But that, you know, it was a reminder to me as well in terms of prop firms as a whole, like whether it's FTMO, MFF, whoever it is.
Yep.
They have in their rules that they can change their rules whenever they want in every contract. Yeah. Will they do it?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But the reality is, and this is why, as you said about personal, is so important.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the prop firms can decide at any moment to shut down, change their model, or just say that we're not going to pay you out.
Yeah.
You know, which
is why, like with Urimi University, I say to people, learn, apply, get funded. After you get funded and you get to that withdrawal, put that money in your personal account. Essentially, you're putting it aside for a rainy day, for example. Okay, cool, regulation. Okay. I think FTMO, they're regulated, right? Are they regulated? I'm not sure.
I don't think any of the prop firms are.
I'm not sure. But I heard something about FTMO undergoing something. I'm not sure, yeah. But this is why I say, when you use the prop firm, it's here. Use it. Utilize the prop firms. Put that money into your own trading account and keep on doing that. Treat your personal account like a pot. Use the prop firms, use the capital they're giving you, trade, withdraw, put it in, withdraw, put it in. If you lose an account, no problem, take another challenge, pass it again, and start the same process again, and use your personal account to eventually, if you've got 50K in your personal account, 30K, 100K, 80K, whatever it may be, that's now a good amount to start with, because now you can see percentage growth on your personal account. Because if you've got a 30K account and you're risking 1%, what's that, £300? You're risking 1%. £300, you catch a 1 to 10, for example, that's 3K. You catch a 1 to 5, 1.5K, and that's, you know, that's more than.
That's what people don't realize.
People don't realize that. So once you start to grow your personal account to the point where you're content with what a 1% risk is, that's when you know, okay, cool, let me just trade my personal.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you know, I feel like the prop firms have those benefits, of course, in terms of the funding, but then the negatives is that everyone kind of just completely ignores the actual journey of a trader, is to have that full control, you know, that freedom. So though you have this prop firm account and though you know the rules and regulations, you're not free because you have these rules and regulations, whether they're stopping you from holding a trade over the weekend, or whether they're stopping you from trading news, or whether you know, you have to take a profit split at a certain day, or you have to do minimum trading day, all these different rules. So you're not essentially free. Even if you're funded, you're not free. But that personal account, you're free.
Because for me, it's like, I like holding trades overnight. I can't do that if I'm on a prop firm. Because with the sort of lot sizes I'm trading, within a 1% risk, it's like, if that trade now retraces whilst I'm asleep, I've violated my daily drawdown rules. Yeah. So I like to do that on my personal account.
Definitely.
And just day trade on my prop firm account.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So, like, is that something you do? You sort of treat the strategies differently depending on the account you're using?
Because before, I was more of a intraday trader. And I feel like the only reason that changed was because I came across prop firms.
Okay, yeah.
So I still kind of I'll hold trades on my personal account, but on my prop firm account, I'll just treat it what it is for the day.
In and out.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's not even like, I don't really get in and out a lot. I'll hold a trade for like maybe 4 hours, 5, 6.
Oh, as in like just the day's move.
The day's move until it hits TP, and that's it.
Nice.
Perfect. And if it hits stop loss, then I'll just have my rules for the day, like how much percent am I willing to risk for the day? If it's 2% for the entire day, then I'm out of the trade. Come back the next day and see if there's any opportunities in the market.
Yeah. So how did you sort of stick to that? Because a lot of people set those rules.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, losses. Like I lost a lot of money. It forced me to have this method in practice because it's like, if I don't have very strict risk management, at the end of the day, I know my personality.
Definitely.
You're going to start making up fake biases in your head. Oh yeah, I can see this happening, so it's here, and this is why I'm taking profit over here, and this is why I'm going to hold the trade for longer. When in reality, you just want to make more money. So you're making up fake analysis to basically make you feel better.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? And it's like,
To just justify these bad actions.
yeah, like I'm moving stop loss to break even because of this or whatever. And that's what I used to do until I heard Mark Douglas say that if a person moves their stop loss to break even, then they truly haven't accepted the risk. And people have different strategies, obviously, like you move your stop loss to break even after price break structure, bro. And this is the problem with the trading industry, because it's like everyone thinks there's one correct method. Bro, you can trade retail, institutional, whatever. Like, bro, if you're whatever method you're trading, if you have correct risk management and if you've got a trading plan, you can become successful with whatever it is. Okay, will you be as successful or as consistent? That's another conversation. But like, someone might move the stop loss to break even and still be successful.
Yeah.
Someone might not and still be successful. It all depends on the nature of the person. For me, I realized that, you know what, my psychology gets affected knowing that if I move my stop loss to break even, price comes back just to tap my entry and then continues in my direction, I'm going to be annoyed.
Yeah.
So I rather just accept the risk and keep my stop loss where it is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I know I'm annoyed that my stop loss got hit, it's because I didn't risk correctly. Because if I had £1,000 on my bank account, or I had £100 on my bank account and I lost £1, I wouldn't be stressed because I got £99 in my bank account left. So why is it not the same with my trading account if my stop loss gets hit? An element of it is, number one, disbelief in your own ability to trade, or number two, bad psychology, because you're trying to, you don't accept, you always want to be right. You don't want to accept the fact that you're wrong. And when you are wrong, or when you feel like you're about to be wrong, you try and justify why you're about to be wrong by using fake analysis to pull out of a trade.
Yeah.
You haven't fully committed yourself to the trade.
That's so you start
to the
trying to
trade.
justify it.
Yeah, like commit to the trade, set your trade and forget about it. Just lock your phone, get about your day. People forget that this is what trading, this is the nature of trading. Trading is meant to allow you to live your life and not sit in front of a screen all day just preying on potential moves in the market.
Yeah.
The market's only going to move at certain times. The market's only going to move a certain amount of pips in a day. Why are you chasing more? If you've just made an amount that you're grateful for, that you're content for, call it a day, call it a week, take a break, enjoy your profits, man. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And did you find that an element of trading, obviously it has all this freedom, and as you said, you don't need to meet anyone, you don't have to, have stock, for example. You can literally just do it from your phone, from your laptop, by yourself. You make all the decisions. So you have all this freedom. But do you feel like having all this freedom is probably a reason why people can just take 100 trades?
It's detrimental because it's like it desensitizes them to the value of money because it doesn't come. Obviously, the hard work. This is why trading is like football. You dedicate your entire life to trading, taking free kicks, taking shots, being on a diet, going to the gym, training twice a day, to then becoming a professional footballer. And trading is the same. You dedicate hours of backtesting, learning a method, trying to practice your psychology, being in the markets, having down days, quitting, coming back, blowing accounts, coming back, to finally going, after you finish the journey of the cycle of a trader, you realize, okay, cool, I'm at the consistency curve, or I'm at the curve where I found my edge. Then the market starts rewarding you. But does it desensitize a lot of people? Of course it does, because they start.
You just see numbers on a screen.
On the screen.
You're not physically.
If you had that cash in front of you and you saw how much floating profit you was in, you'd be very grateful.
Definitely.
Because you've been seeing it time and time again. You don't feel like it's real money in front of you until you actually close it, withdraw, and you're like, damn, that money actually came into my bank.
Yeah.
Crazy. So, and it's like what I think it was. Can't remember who it was. If it was LeBron, if it was Michael Jordan, or Kobe Bryant. They said something like, sorry, no, it was Usain Bolt. He said, I trained years and years and years of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Just to run for what? 8 seconds, 9 seconds?
Yeah. It's true, though. It's true.
And that 9 seconds made him the most money ever.
So do you think like you're training, so like with the football analogy, or even with Usain Bolt, it's like you train, you have to do all these different technical aspects. So it's not just like, oh, I just learned to sprint. You have to prepare and practice the the takeoff, and then the actual sprint speed, and then the sort of physicality of it, making sure that the form's correct to optimize the speed. Same like the football, you're not just going to learn how to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to get to that point where you can shoot the ball, like the defense, your cardiovascular, your diet, etc. So like with trading, you got the back testing, you got all the, reading the candles, learning a strategy, trading plan. Do you feel it gets to a point though, once you've gone through that process of that learning and, losses and experience, that you have to strip it back, and simplify and make it so that you have limitations now? Because at the end of the day, you can have all the freedom in the world to do what you want, but human nature being what it is, and especially revolving around money, do you think it's actually, maybe you can reflect on your own journey, was it something that by stripping back and putting these limitations in place, was that what helped you to excel?
Absolutely. Because it's like, before I used to place a trade every day. I used to get in 3-4 positions in a day, in and out, whatever it may be, yeah. And when I say getting in multiple positions, it's because like 1 hit stop loss, 2 hit stop loss. So I'm trying to justify that there's another move, when in reality it's just me trying to make back the losses and revenge trading. So putting limitations definitely helped me out, because now it's like I'm very picky with where I enter. I'm looking for the best prices. I'm looking at, what's furthest away from traffic. And I'm not interested in areas that I believe a lot of people are entering the markets from. And yeah, I'm very, very picky with my entries, and I don't really place as much trades. Maybe I'm in and out of the market maybe 3-4 times a week, sometimes twice a week. But yeah, just let those positions run, and that's it. It's about being grateful as well, man. I feel like I can only speak for myself because of like faith. My religion teaches me to be grateful, to be content. So for me, it's like, if I know I can't make this type of money anywhere else, and I know what this amount of money that I'm floating in profit right now can do for me, can do for my family, can do for my loved ones, I'm taking that profit. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to search for more and more and more, because as mankind, we're always going to want more anyway. So I feel like it's about having a good balance between knowing what you really want from trading, knowing what you want from life, and if you're up a good amount of profit, close it and do what it is you've had dreams of doing. For example, if you want to help your mum, like for example, refurbish a house, buy a car, invest somewhere, take your profit, do that, come back to the markets. Use trading as a money-making vehicle to now invest in other opportunities that can generate you income aside. I don't use passive income, but yeah, diversify your portfolio basically, and use trading as a vehicle that's going to allow you to do so.
Definitely. And I think what you mentioned about gratitude there, regardless of religion, I think it's things that people do probably struggle with. Because as you said, in the moment, like,
the reason why I mentioned religion, because like I had the Wolf of Wall Street mentality. Guys are losing trades, they're going and sniffing cocaine in the toilet, getting frustrated. That's why I feel like for me, religion is what puts that gratitude in me. For some people, it might be whatever else it may be.
It could be something else, yeah. No, 100%. But it's true though, because a lot of people, I think, trading as a whole could be a huge influence, because people see that sort of lifestyle. A lot of people can't promote that on social media, for example, but they see people who have the lifestyle similar to the Wolf of Wall Street. And the Wolf of Wall Street, in a way, did present a particular lifestyle that a lot of people then thought, oh, this is wild, this is crazy. Be able to do a private jet with a party, and people then create this unrealistic expectation, and they have the wrong mindset of why they're trying to achieve something. And religion to a degree does help you to sort of not avoid that, but give you a different path to choose from.
Direction.
Yeah, direction. But what I was trying to get at is in terms of like the gratitude element. A lot of people, I think, as you mentioned already, that they have a 9 to 5 and they may be making like £1,500 a month. So suddenly now they're seeing these different figures on the screen that is actually more than that in a way shorter time. And I think in the industry as a whole, we do see a lack of focus on the gratitude, on the situation that you're in and the situation that you're creating or possibly being able to create through trading. And, you've taught a lot of people now, like, have you found that in other people as well? And would you say maybe it's something that the younger generation face, or just generally people face?
Yeah, I've definitely found that, because and sometimes in my Discord, I kind of have that realistic mentorship approach. For example, the other day someone said, damn, I had a losing week. And I said to him literally, if you get paid 3K at your job, that means you make what? 750 a week?
Roughly.
roughly £150 a day, something like that. Anyways, I'm not too sure. If you clocked in Monday morning to your job and you made £150, are you gonna finish your shift saying, "Damn man, I only made £150 today," or you finish that week and say, "This week was bad. I made £750." You wouldn't say that. Why? Because you know at the end of the month, 3K awaits you. Why can't you apply that same mindset with trading after having a losing day, a losing week? All it takes is a few trades to bring you back to break even, and 1 or 2 trades to set you in a good amount of profit. If you were to only think, how am I going to end this month? You would be so much more calm as a trader because you're now thinking ahead. You have that delayed gratification instead of instant gratification. You see, and that's a problem with a lot of us because we come from a job and now we're not grateful for the profits that we're seeing on our screen because it's daily. Like, and sometimes it's like, because we're used to working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we now think we have to trade Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah.
So we kind of just bring the same mentality over to trading, but we can't.
We can't.
You know, we have to do different and dive deeper than that. And I feel like a lot of people, and now we're starting to see a bit of a stronger narrative around that. But there's still a lot of people who have a lot of work to do, you know, and they need to dig deeper into themselves. Like yourself, like you know, based on what you've said already, in terms of how you reviewed your thought process, you know, you asked a lot of questions. Why do you react in this way? Is that a process you've always done, or was that something you started to implement trading?
Yeah, trading made me implement that because before I would never self-reflect. I just think this is just my personality. It's how I am. I don't need to change. Don't change for no one. I had to change for the market.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's good though. But like when you had that moment with funding talent,
Yeah.
so obviously this is like going into that second year, going into that consistency. You've just had all that hardship and that depression.
Yeah.
How did you then look at that scenario and say, okay, I can, you know, and use that as fuel? Because equally you could have used the other side.
Yes, I was so low, bro. Like I was so low in that moment. And I'd just been denied a 72K payout. I'm not gonna lie. I was annoyed for a bit. Then I just laughed it off and I said, "Watch, it just woke up a beast inside me." And after that, I gave it about a month. And I went with my Forex funds and I passed, made a withdrawal, was up 20K on US30 in like 4 hours, gold up 20K. And there was a moment where I was seeing 10K floating profit every single day without fail. That was like, I was on a very, very, very good streak. And yeah, that fund and talent situation gave me so much fuel because I went into MFF, I went into all these other prop firms with the mindset of, I'm going to scale up and scale up and scale up. And it made me realize that one account isn't enough. It's not enough because what if
bad losing streak happens, or the same scenario happens.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously in your journey you used the prop firms, and obviously that was a huge shift though, from being in debt and losing small accounts to now having larger payouts. How did you handle that, you know?
I feel like it's good because I conditioned my mind. Like I said, I was watching a lot of like traders on YouTube. Like I was watching, not in terms of strategy, just in terms of like lifestyle. I was watching Swaggy C. I was watching Q Banks, Lambo Raul, Mamba FX. I was watching I like Will's effects a lot, man. I feel like he's a young guy. He doesn't really get the credit that he deserves, but he's never been a flashy type of trader. He's always very real with his psychology, and I like kind of.
Is that less is more approach?
Less is more approach. Very business approach he's got as well. I was consuming every single possible trading content out there. Like some crazy guy. What's his name? I think his name's Raphael or something. This guy's flowing like 1.5 mil on gold, and he's like, "Oh, I'm about to blow this up." Whatever. I don't know if some people are legit. I don't know. I can't speak for them. But it's like watching other traders float in profit, like seeing Q Banks make 250K in a day, 100K in a day, whatever it is, and seeing them guys. You know, Swaggy C for me was like a mindset mentor.
100%. Yeah.
And if I ever see him, like I'm gonna make it known and give him his flowers, man, because he really did change my life. That guy changed my life. Swaggy C, that guy, changed my life. And I used to watch Swaggy C when I had minus £6 in my bank account. And now I've got a penthouse, McLaren, you know, I'm living the life that I used to watch them live. And it's thanks to all these people, like, you know, even people that I listen to, Les Brown, Steve Harvey, you know, Eric Thomas. These people, like, are always conditioned in my mind, because it's like, as human beings, we are told to have our 5 a day for our body. But what about the nourishment for our mind, the nutrition for our mind? And it's like, not much importance is put on that. And that's why a lot of people deteriorate in terms of mental health, because they wake up in the morning, they're probably waking up to a household, a broken home, or people like arguing, shouting, or they're waking up to a home where it's like there's stresses about money, bills. So for me, I knew I had to really like educate my mind and listen to some stimulating content, like personal development. Stephen R. Covey, The Habits of Highly Effective People. I was listening to a lot of Jim Rohn. I was listening to a lot of John C. Maxwell. And yeah, so going back, like a lot of, to answer your question, I was watching every single trader's content out there, just so I can see what awaits me, the life that awaits me.
Yeah. So you're like prepping the mindset.
Prepping not only the mindset, but it's like seeing them in drawdown, seeing them in big profits. I already lived that. I lived that through them.
Okay.
So for me, it's like, oh, minus this much in drawdown, no problem. I've seen this before.
So it wasn't like entirely new to you. It was,
Nah.
it was only in one sense new to your personal experience.
Yes.
But you've witnessed this experience
Exactly.
of others, and witnessed and heard
Yep.
from their experience
Yep.
how they handled it, or maybe they even shared what they struggled with.
Yes,
So
exactly.
therefore
That's
you
why-
could be a bit more mindful of
Exactly. That's why for me, I'm a student of the game. Like I say, a lot of traders come on here arrogant or whatever. Like, bro, I've learned from everyone. Everyone. I've learned from everyone. Obviously, can't combine people's strategies, but when I say learn, I mean like I've taken a leaf out of everyone's book. Okay. Like I said to you, like Swaggy C, Cube Banks, Lambo Raul, Astra at one point as well. My guys, Mahad Effects,
it. Is he the
ZM
guy
Capital.
from Egyptian?
No, Mahad Somali.
Was he Somali?
Yeah,
Okay,
Somali.
sorry.
Mahad Effects. Those guys, yeah, man, they're young, but they're my goats. You know what I'm trying to say? Like these big guys, the Q Banks and all these people, like I've learned a lot from these individuals.
Yeah. And what
Traders
like,
never admit that
Yeah, exactly.
someone's helped them.
Oh, 100%.
Everyone's helped me.
It's very important to, I think, do that because at the end of the day, that's how the industry should be. I think there's too much toxic nature. And yeah, I understand that people might be essentially competition in the sense that of if you have a course or a brand or something. But at the end of the day, it really makes no little difference.
Yeah. And I feel like I always like to mention this statement, but it's a statement that the Arabs say. They say, أَلَمْ تَرَ أَنَّ السَّيْفَ يَنْقُصُ قَدْرُهُ إِذَا قِيلَ إِنَّ السَّيْفَ أَمْضَى مِنَ الْعَصَى. Can't you see how the sword loses value the moment it says that it's sharper than a stick? If you don't believe in your own source and you have to tell people, oh, I'm better than this trader, or my course is this and his course is that, you don't really you don't have to sell yourself. Draw people towards you by being your authentic self.
Exactly.
You know what I'm trying to say? And what's
powerful.
real will sell.
Always, yeah. And when it's legitimate, when it's real, it will just naturally be what it needs to be. You know, it will rise naturally, and it will rise in an authentic manner. So I couldn't agree more. And like you said, it's definitely needed in terms of like shining people out. Because like what I was going to say to you is, how did you filter? Because I know a lot of people out there, a lot of my audience might not know you yet, but there'll be a lot of your audience who might not know me, for example.
Yeah, I haven't really touched the YouTube scene in terms of trading apart from
the trading side.
Apart from the house tour.
Yeah.
2023, I'm loading up.
That's it. And no doubt that when you were looking at these people like Q Banks, like Swaggy C, and I haven't spoken to Q personally, but I've spoken to Swaggy a few times, and great guy, and really love what he does. And great message. He's always had the same message, regardless of lifestyle or growth. His message has always remained the same, and his story is very inspiring as well. And so but when you look at these guys, and you're maybe researching their content, whether it's just motivational stuff, lifestyle stuff, or trading, you'll get these haters or these people who will say like, this guy's a scammer, this person's that. So how did you filter that whilst you were going through that journey?
I'll be honest with you. For me, there's two sides to every story. I've been in situations where people may think one side of me, but the closest people to me only know the reality. Like a lot of people say, oh my God, this guy's got how many students? They don't know I've actually given my course for free to over 1,000 students. Like single mums get the course for free. like people that can't afford it. Obviously, not everybody, because at the end of the day, it's a business. The course is a business, but we accommodate for people. Like we understand. Like I come from a broken home. I come from a broken financial background. Not broken home. My mum and dad were around.
They're gonna want us to get mad.
I come from a very like bad financial background, so I understand life. I understand cost of living, etc. But at the same time, you don't want to put yourself in a scenario where you're blaming cost of living on not trying to start a business,
Of course,
not trying to better yourself. Okay, we understand. Okay, situation is bad. I was in that situation as well myself. But you got to try your best to find a way out of it. So people won't know. People just see, this person's selling a course, whatever, but they don't know. Like my course is $499, one-time fee. It's at a very affordable price. It's not too crazy, especially with the kind of figures people charge in the forex industry, bro.
Yeah,
$499 one-time fee, no strings attached. After that, you're in a 24-hour Discord group. Your questions get answered straight away. Yeah, there's a Discord trading questions tab. There is a general chat where you can network with other students and speak generally. There's something that's called trading talks. You can come on Discord and put your video on your mic and revise backtest with other students.
Yeah.
I do one-to-one calls included with that price. Obviously, the more it grows, the more the one-to-ones will become in small groups, etc. Because I can't do every single person.
Yeah.
I'm only one man. I do random, like, for example, if I was to show you, like, random calls every 2 days, sometimes every day or so, where I say I'm jumping on and I'm helping anybody. So you can see here, for example, this was yesterday. Congrats. These are funded students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I pay for 6 students funded exams. For example, here, this is my event. Let me just show you, for example, here. Here we are. I'll be on Zoom right now helping anyone who has questions or is stuck on a topic. Feel free to pop in, ask whatever you need help with.
Yeah.
Again, day before, I'll be on Zoom 10 minutes helping anyone. Feel free to pop in. Day before, I'll be on Zoom later. Every day, every 2 days, I'm there. People, and that's why I feel like I'm trying to create the trust in a industry that has a very bad stigma. And when people see what Discord, one-to-ones, mentorship, free monthly workshops every month where I can come and see you personally and speak to you, and you don't charge no ticket, no fees for no tickets. You don't upsell anything at the event. We're expecting like a little curveball at the end, a little catch. There's no catch. What's going on here? And that's what the 499 comes with, So for me, that's always what I wanted to be. You can't be the best, but you can be the best at being better. So I'm not here trying to say, I'm the guy, come to me. So there's many GOATs, like people like a guy called ICT. I've never studied from him personally, never. But I understand that people that I've studied from may have studied from him. So there's a guy called ICT. There's Men FX, for example. All these guys at like Q Banks, whatever. Like I get it. Like these are the GOATs of the industry, for example, to some people. For me, I'm not trying to be a GOAT. I'm trying to do my thing, stay in my lane. I'm not trying to get involved in no drama. Just doing me, focusing on my students, and that's it, bro.
That's it.
Like if you think there's a catch, whatever, then come and take a look yourself.
Well, that's just how it works, isn't it? The nature of the game is that when you try to put yourself out there, because even like with yourself, you are on social media now. You're not like not like you're on there every single day, 24 hours a day or anything. But you've been on social media before the trading journey. And knowing now that how old you are. That must have been, you must have been in your teenage years then,
like
right?
17, 18.
Yeah, so like how did you have that confidence? Because I know that when I was that age, I wanted to do stuff. But I just always let the fear of other people's opinions and their thoughts of me hold me back. So I stopped it for so long. But you put yourself out there. Was there a little struggle there? Or?
Nah, to be honest with you, when I was younger, I've always been used to the camera. I've always been in front of the camera. I used to pick up like video cameras, and record myself doing nonsense from a young age, running around in nappies. Like my mum's got cassettes and stuff. But like when I was younger, I used to do music. So I was always used to like stage. I used to perform and stuff and make music and release it, music videos and stuff. And I stopped doing that due to a few things. But then after that, I've always been used to the camera. I'm very I like to speak to people, outgoing. That's pretty much what it is.
Then in terms of like slowing that down and stopping that, not the music side, but generally the social media side, was that a choice in terms of when you were doing that solitude? Yeah.
Because for me, it's like I've got all these followers, but I'm broke. This doesn't make sense.
And what was that like then? Because obviously everyone's perception, even now, even to this day, is you got followers, you must be rich.
No, the thing with me, it's like my followers know I've always, I've documented my entire journey. Like I'll go to the ATM on my Snapchat, on my Instagram, and be like, hey guys, look at my bank account. It's minus £6. But I swear to God, I'm going to make it. I'll send you clips of it after.
Yeah, send them. Yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
Like my bank account, me tapping my Oyster card, and it's not working, and the train, what they're called, train wardens, whatever they are.
Yeah,
He's telling me, if you ain't got money, just say, mate. I'm like to him, yeah, bro, I ain't got money. Like, sorry, I gotta go do something. Like, then he lets me through. Like, getting humbled. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I showed all of that on my Snapchat, and you guys will see. Like, I'll put it up here. So that's why I say, like, you can't walk in on this chapter in my life and say, why is this guy living flashy? I showed everybody my vision board. I was jotting down like my notes, and I told people, watch, I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna be here. Obviously, success is what you deem it to be. I feel like I'm content with where I'm at. I wouldn't say I'm successful, but I'm content with where I'm at. Yeah. But yeah, the followers thing is like I've always kept pressed and used to tell them, look, man, right now this is what I'm going through. But if anyone's going through this, just keep going, keep pushing, find something that gives you purpose and drive. And yeah, that's why you can't, like, if somebody starts speaking on me, I know you haven't been around.
Yeah.
Because if you've been around, you would have seen me upload every single day of me just trying to figure out life and grinding out and showing people the reality that I'm broke now, but watch, I'm going to show you guys that if you work every single day, you will achieve your goals. And I've done it.
To be honest with you, and it's amazing to do. And I think that the documentation side, I feel like some people get trapped in trading nowadays where they're trying to, as we talked about, do the solitude and then come back after in one sense. But I feel like nowadays most people, whilst they're trying to learn, are trying to add value to others. And that doesn't make sense. Like, get the value, then from your value you can share.
Exactly.
But in terms of documenting your journey, that's two different things. Trying to provide value and then documenting your journy so that later you can reflect and other people can then see too. I think that's a beautiful thing, because I had done that, but then I lost this Instagram page, which is a long story. But even then, it's such an incredible thing to be able to look back on and realize, here's that moment, here's that moment. And, when you were going through that period, then you've got this following. And this success, because even though you'd stopped the music, it was successful. You were very successful at it. Based on that, though, was that the first time you had sort of had something successful happen to you? In terms, whether it's entrepreneurship or generally, is that the first sort of taste of some form of success?
What exactly?
Like the growing of the followership and the music career and the way that was going.
I wouldn't really call that success, but in terms of the following, it's not really, bro, I'm not famous. Like, I've got 40k followers, 50k, whatever it may be.
It's like it's relative.
It's relative.
There'll be people out there who are grafting now to get
course.
there.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, though, because obviously, as you said, it's like, would we deem that success or not? But what I mean is, it's hard work, and there's the sort of result of that hard work.
Yeah, of course. Right? Yeah. So after seeing that, it made me think, okay, cool. This is my first taste at something going right.
Yeah. So was that something then you were able to apply to anything else that you were felt passionate about?
Yes, exactly.
Because then you've seen, hey, if I work hard at something, I can, here's a result at the end of it.
Exactly that.
Incredible.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because then it must have been a hard choice then to be able to step away and focus on something else. Or was it easy for you?
Trading, very easy for me. Not trading, as in like focusing.
People are going to take that out now.
Yeah. As in like me leaving whatever it is and focusing on trading. Yeah, I found it was a smooth transition. It was a smooth transition, and I just developed passion for it very, very quickly. And yeah.
And what was it in terms of like the teaching? What was the drive and sort of motivation behind that then?
I didn't have the drive and motivation to teach. In fact, I actually doubted myself. One of my very good friends actually told me you should, because I taught my two little brothers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and they're now funded and whatever. Like they're doing their thing. One of them's taking an exam. I think he passed phase 1 right now. And my two little brothers, after teaching them, and I kind of realized, okay, cool, if this works, and I've tested it on my own family, no one can tell me anything because I've tried it with my family first. If I was putting anyone in a detrimental position, it would not be my family.
Yeah, of course.
You get it? So I've tested it on my family and it worked. And I was in a bubble for a very long time because this is another thing. People think, oh yeah, courses, oh yeah. Bro, my course started in like June, July, whatever it was, yeah. I've been floating profits of like 10k a day or like 5k a day or 20, and I have good days at 50k, sometimes in a day 40k, 30k, whatever it may be, since like November. That's what, 9 months of me making crazy profits by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Then saying, okay, if I can do this consistently for 9 months, let me now utilize a business and monetize my knowledge that I've got.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, everybody has a course. Like I said, I don't think I'm not here to tell you my course is the best and I'm the best, whatever. But I know that my course is one of the best courses to take somebody from absolutely zero to hero.
Mm-hmm.
As I teach things like what's a pip, what is a candle.
You teach the basics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then I take them through, for example, what the beginner side of trading is,
Mm-hmm.
and why we avoid certain things like entering early, different types of liquidity, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the advanced stages of, so it's like, it's very hard to find a course that's going to teach you from the absolute basics. There's many, obviously there's many, but I mean, like, it's very concise.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that people like about my course is that it's very short, it's very concise, it's very to the point. And then the real learning takes place when you go on Discord and you watch all of the Zoom calls that I've done,
Mm-hmm.
all the not backlog, but all the Zoom sessions from the past. You
Mm-hmm.
watch that again, and then you come on the one-to-ones, and you come on the mentorship, and you come to the live events, and you're able to ask in person, and things like that of that nature. So, yeah, like, of course, course money is amazing. It's a business at the end of the day. If somebody was doing maths tuition, you would pay the guy to teach you maths.
Mm-hmm.
So why aren't you going to pay a guy to teach you how to trade?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like people say, oh yeah, but a lot of traders make course money. It's like me saying to you, if personal trainers are in shape, why do they charge to be in shape?
Mm-hmm.
Why do they charge you for you to get a dream body of yours?
Mm-hmm.
People say, yeah, it's different, but that's not money making. But that's like me saying to you, okay, cool. If that's not the same, then why can't they just get about their day, get about their life? They're in shape. That's it. Be in shape for yourself.
Yeah.
Don't teach someone how to be in shape. So it's like, but they say, oh yeah, just make money for yourself. Don't teach people how to make money. That's essentially what you're saying. But you don't want to say it because you look like a hater.
Mm.
But yeah, course money is amazing. It's a business at the end of the day. We've got a market. If this is my life, or I'm on holiday, if this is my actual car and this is my house, I would obviously snap whatever I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
even the same.
I used to get them a lot, okay? So, and I didn't understand why I felt the way I felt. There was like, I looked at my life, I was doing good financially, okay? I was fit. I didn't know what led me to be so mentally low. So, I was at a really low point in my life, and I'll openly say again, I used to cry alone a lot, even in school. Okay, I'll leave school quickly, go somewhere no one is.
Try and hide something. Yeah.
And then this was halfway through year 12. It got to a point where I can handle it. So I ran out of school. I went to a little park, and then I let it all out. Okay, and then a friend of mine, his name's Gomez. I'll always remember this day. Okay, he saw me crying, and that's something I never wanted anyone to ever see. So it's very embarrassing, to be honest. So he saw me at the park all by myself. He came up. He didn't realize, because he was walking from behind, so he didn't realize what was going on until he came up to me. So as soon as I saw him, I quickly tried to fix up everything and wipe it up. And then he said, "Yo, Zayn." I said, "Yo," and then the tears came out again.
Yeah.
And then he was giving me a very and he was being very positive to me, trying to change up the mood, okay? And then there was this one thing he said to me was, "Zayn, look, before you ever excel in life or see anything out of life, life will pull you to your last." It's like it was like a slingshot analogy.
Yeah.
It was like price will pull you back like a slingshot, and before
And project you.
literally pull you to your worst, and then let you go. Then you'll start seeing the best out of yourself and the best in your life. And after that conversation, of course, like out of the embarrassment of someone seeing me the way I was, I started to pick up myself again, get back to the gym, and focus on my trading. Okay, like I said, I was already doing pretty well, but I wasn't diving into it as much as I should have. Okay, so at that point, after that, I actually started to work on myself physically and financially with my work, making sure I excel in every endeavor possible.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started to isolate myself after that,
Mm-hmm.
because again, like I said, I was embarrassed because of what had happened, and
Yeah.
so I just started isolating myself from all my friends in school, and then I slowly started separating. Eventually, I wouldn't interact with anyone at school, which, to be honest, I look at it in a positive in a positive way.
Yeah.
That isolation, when I tell you, grew me financially, mentally, physically. I had a very small circle of friends at the time, and my bond with them built
Strong.
very strong.
Yeah.
Okay, so that isolation is when I started to focus on myself, and I actually started to do better in every aspect.
Mhm.
Okay, now we're 6 months down the line. Alhamdulillah, I was very profitable in my trading, and I had a very small circle which I loved to death. Okay, and I started to do a lot better mentally. I got to a point where I was very happy with my life. I would interact with people, go out with everyone. Everyone loved my vibe, my energy. Because like I said, that isolation didn't happen purely because I separated. People also started to feel my energy. No one wanted to fuck around with low energy, you know? So that isolation happened, and it's what allowed me to excel, okay? And then 6 months came down the line. Everyone saw my profitability on social media because I used to post it openly. I used to post signals openly, my analysis openly. And then a lot of people were asking me for my for education. A lot of people asked me, bro, please one-to-one me, I'll pay you. So I started getting into one-to-ones. So I started to offer a one-to-one service. And I was still in school at the time. So eventually that one-to-one got out of hand. I could no longer manage them because it's very time consuming, you know? And I was still in school at the time. So we'll reach an exam season. I was like, you know what? I'm stopping this. I'm no longer doing one-to-ones. Then I just carried on with what I was always doing. And then eventually a friend of mine who's also a trader started, he created his own Discord and his own online educational platform. And then alhamdulillah, I started to see how well that was doing. And he was also a close friend of mine. So he'd also tell me, Zayn, like, you're killing the markets, you're doing very well for yourself. Rather than going back to one-to-ones, why don't you just create content and just put it out on YouTube and just grow your platform? And at that time, like I said, I didn't create a course, I didn't have an educational platform or a Discord or anything. So I just started to post my videos out on YouTube for free. I started to post breakdowns, and I was teaching a lot for free before I created my platform. Then I started to create my course. After I saw the engagement, my YouTube started to grow, my Instagram was growing. I was like, you know what? This is a very good potential income. Let me just get into it. Because I was making money off, like I said, the one-to-one services as well. So I was like, you know what? I know there's a market for this. People love what I'm doing and they want to learn from me. So I was like, you know what? I created an educational platform. And like I told you, my YouTube actually has more education than my course does itself. Because of the amount of free content I put out there. So started my educational platform. This is also like 2021, mid 2021. And because of the free content that I posted, it actually started to convert. So I built, well, to this day, right now, we have like 3,700 students under my wing. And we're talking this in the space of a year. Okay, so a lot of people really engaged with my material, engaged with my teaching. And alhamdulillah, the progress that I've seen in my Discord, I'm sure you've seen my story. My highlights alone is full of the amount of traders that I have now under my wing funded. A lot of them thank me almost every day because of the education I've given them and the community that I've created. Now, if I'll add you to my Discord and you can see the engagement. A lot of people help each other. It's the same. It reminds me of the time when I had a small community of the 80 to 100 people where I was learning of each other. That's the same as my students. I'm almost not as engaged with my Discord anymore because of the interaction that's going on between them. Like when someone has a question, it's already being answered. I no longer need to answer it. So I've built such a great community. Everyone really loves the style that I teach. Like I said, I get very straight to the point. I don't do the whole teach everything, single thing from what is pips to the advanced. I get straight to it. From how I teach, I'll put it out there. Okay. So everyone liked my simplicity. And
Yeah.
that's really it, really.
It was an incredible journey, and we touched on a lot of things there that I think we can then dive into. There's a lot of people actually, because you mentioned about the question I asked you off camera about how you so like mature and intellectual at this age.
I appreciate that.
So people won't know your age, more than likely. Some will,
Yeah.
obviously your own audience.
A lot of
will.
people didn't even believe me. Like,
Yeah,
you saw my
you showed
story
me.
the other, I had to post my driving license.
I know, I saw that. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
But how old are you?
19.
19. Incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. And again, it's amazing to see, because, and I think it will definitely be very insightful and inspirational for people out there who are a similar age,
Definitely.
or even a bit older, to realize that, look, you can level up not only in life, but also just your mindset generally.
Definitely. Just what right there.
Mhm.
Today I had an interaction with my student.
Mm.
Okay, I'll plug you now. His name is Shoaib. He's 1 year younger than me, or 2 years younger than me. I met him at the gym
Oh, really?
out in Wembley. He came up to me. He was like, Zayn, shook my hand. Da, 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 da. I'm funded.
Oh, wow.
He passed the 300k in my Forex funds account.
Mm.
That moment, really, I felt so happy. It was such a eye-opening experience to see it one-to-one. My students actually showing me progress.
Yeah.
It's not just on Discord. Like, I'm actually seeing it in real life. A person, first of all, knowing who I am, saying ZM Capitals, I'm your student. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like, And then he showed me his dashboard on my Forex fund, and he was a funded 300k trader. That is ridiculous.
And that's why it makes it all worth it, all the hard work and everything. And
Definitely.
I bet it was a interesting moment, because I remember the first time it happened to me where someone ran up to me as well.
Yeah.
It was in Dubai, actually, of all places.
Okay.
And it was just and it was during COVID, so I had mask on, and someone
Yeah.
ran up to me with a mask on. I felt like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I bet it's absolutely incredible, and no doubt probably will happen to you a lot more, especially because you have a lot of students as well worldwide.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised was that the first time it happened to you?
No, it's happened before, but not. I've never seen them. They're trading. It was more like, hi, Zayn, how are you?
Oh, okay,
Da, da, da.
yeah.
Yeah, but this one came up to me. Oh, I'm funded. I'm funded 300k.
Incredible.
I was like, wow.
Especially at such an age.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, yeah.
Life changing.
Yeah.
But really great to hear. So, in terms of like the mindset, though, at the end of the day, it's not something that is random. I would say it's definitely not random. It's not lucky either. Some people try and say that. But was there something maybe in your childhood that made that that spark inside you to create a different mindset?
My dad was always business driven.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad's story is actually very similar to mine.
Mhm.
Okay. He was also young, 14, 15 when he started his first business venture.
Okay.
He actually had his own store selling, them oil perfumes?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was selling oil perfumes. Then at 16, 17, he started his own taxi business out in Syria. So he was doing very well for himself in the whole business world.
Yeah.
Okay. That's when he actually moved to London in 1995, something
Okay,
like
yeah.
a very long time ago. But he got himself to London by himself without taking money from anyone or anything. So he got into the business world from very young.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing I took after my dad.
Yeah, definitely.
He got into business from very young. I also got into business from very young. Me and my dad are like very close friends. I don't only look at him as a father. I look at him as a best friend. Me and him are very close. He put me onto gym. He was my trainer.
Oh, really?
He's a gym fan. I'll show you a picture of my dad. He's
No.
huge. He's one unit. I'll tell you that.
That's great.
So gym, I got it from him. Business mindset, I got it from him. And yeah, that's what I got from my father.
Incredible to hear. Yeah, incredible to hear. And I remember you mentioning off camera as well that you sort of grew up in was it like council estate? You said?
Council Estates, yeah.
Yeah, and
Wembley, Chalk Hill. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have. I'm not London.
Oh,
sort of
okay. Yeah,
man,
you
but
told me only moved 3 years ago. Yeah.
That's it. And I would imagine because your dad was a gym fanatic, is still by the sounds of it, a gym fanatic.
50, and I tell you, he's pushing the weight, man.
Probably put me to shame, no doubt. But I'm guessing there was a lot of discipline then, in terms of maybe was there discipline in routine, discipline in.
It wasn't more discipline and routine. It's because of the fear my parents had with the area we grew up in.
Okay.
They were pretty strict with the way they raised us. And I'm forever grateful with the way we were raised, because if they didn't instill fear into us from a young age to make sure we stay away from this, I'm pretty sure we'd have dived into the bad side of life,
Yeah.
So it was because of my parents' the way they brought me up is what resulted in me staying far away from it. So yes, my discipline comes from the way my parents raised me. They were strict and they made sure we weren't ever engaging with stuff like this. And my parents would always meet my friends and analyze my friends. that was something my mum always did.
Yeah.
The moment she sees a friend that is not good for me, I swear to God, she'll do anything to make sure I don't talk to this guy. She would lock me in that yard, make sure I don't meet him.
Hey man,
Yeah.
fair play, fair play, and it makes a difference. And my mum was very
Definitely.
similar in that sense, actually. When I think back, she would always like analyze my friends, try and give me advice. How did you find it though? Because I'm sure there were probably some friends that might not have agreed with.
So in the, like something, a saying my mum always told me was, when I say things, you'll hate it now, but then when you grow up, you'll start to realize that, wow, my mum was actually doing good for me.
Yeah.
So when she used to tell me, don't meet him, don't interact with him, I'm like, Mom, he's my friend. He doesn't do anything bad. Da, 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 da. But the mum's eye always sees something you never see.
Yeah.
Okay. So my mum always had an eye for people. She has a sixth sense. Trust me, she knows everything, even though she hasn't seen it with her own eyes. She just has a sixth sense for everyone. So when she used to tell me, don't hang on with him, I'll say, Mum, why? And then a couple months down the line, that relationship would die out. And it would die out because they done something to me. Okay? So my mum sees it before it even happens.
Yeah.
So as I started to grow up and I started to see a lot of people that had left me, and I'm like, wow, my mum saw this a long time ago.
Yeah.
My mum knew this. I should have just listened to my mum from the beginning.
That's it.
And then every time now, when my parents say something, I always listen. If my mum says, Zayn, don't do this. Zayn, stay away from this guy.
Yeah.
I would listen straight away.
Straight away, yeah. Because I've always said, because I've observed very similar in my life as well, but I've always said that the women in your life will have a lot of power. Listen to them and they will be able to help you grow as an individual. Is that something you've observed as well?
So for me, how it was, I would say, is my mum helped me grow into a boy, and then my dad helped me grow into a man.
Incredible.
Okay? So they installed the right things at the right age. So I actually got into a conversation with my parents about this.
Oh, really?
Okay, yeah, it was a funny conversation, but the storyline of it was, my parents told me the way they raised me and my brother.
Yeah.
So from 0 to 7, they said they showed us the most love. They literally done everything for us, took us out, showed us so much attention.
Yeah.
And then it was from 7 years old to 14 years old is when they switched.
Okay.
That's when I told you they started to become very strict. They were very strict. They started to install a lot of lessons in us in a more aggressive way. Okay?
Yeah.
But they done this purposefully. Okay? Because it's from 7 to 14 where your character actually starts to shape into who you become in your years to come. So from 17 to 14, they started to be very strict in everything in Osco. And now the friends that we hang around with, the stuff that we are allowed and not allowed to do, make sure relationships was not something we ever dive into, make sure we don't interact with women, like it's all of the basic stuff, and making sure you don't do drugs, making sure you don't drink. So they were very, very strict at that. Okay. And then from 14 onwards, we became best friends. Okay. So they weren't focused on being strict anymore. From 14 onwards, they brought the relationship back to a more of a friendly level where we start to interact with them, not just from a mother and dad's point of view, but also
as very
friends.
open conversations.
Very open. Like when I tell you, I talk to my parents about the craziest thing that you wouldn't even think you'd talk to your mom about. I talk to my mom and dad about it,
It's incredible to hear.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, like I said, my mindset and the way I am is all because of my parents. The way they brought me up and the way they done it is perfect. Like I said, the only reason why I didn't dive into certain things is because from 7 to 14, my parents made sure I would never do such thing. Because I was so scared from even reaching that side of life,
That's it. Well, people came for trading, and it sounds like you've just given them the blueprint to raising children.
That's it, man.
It's incredible. But no, it makes complete sense as well.
Yeah.
Now, last question on this point then. Was there, because obviously you were young at the time, so now you probably have a greater awareness of what was happening. or resentment, put up a struggle or fight?
Yeah, so like I said, I used to tell my mom why, like, he's a nice guy, da 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 da. So there were times where I would still meet him and she would really be angry at me.
Yeah.
Like, I told you don't meet him. I told you don't hang around with him. And then eventually, like, I had to listen to her because the last thing I want to do is upset my parents.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, yes, it was more of a thing where I didn't like what my mom was saying. I didn't like her telling me don't hang around with this guy. But then eventually, when one person left and one person done something dirty,
Yeah.
then once I started to realize, like, yo, my mom's actually doing good for me.
Yeah.
It no longer became a type of thing where I hated what my mom was saying. I'd rather take advice from her and listen.
Save yourself the pain.
Exactly.
I love that. That's great. And because obviously you mentioned about, well, it sounds like they were very hands-on. Yeah, your parents,
definitely.
very hands-on, very aware of, what they were trying to do in terms of instilling.
Now is when I had a conversation with my dad that says now that the weight that they had on their shoulder is now gone. They were always on their toes till last year about with me and my brother, making sure.
Is it just you and your brother?
Just me and my brother. Yeah.
Is it a twin brother?
No, he's older than me.
He looks identical. Honestly.
Everyone says that. He's 2 years
Incredible.
older than me.
Incredible.
He's 21. Yeah. He's older than me. But like from when we were born till last year, that's when they started to, you know what, let us be. But until then, they were always on top of us, making sure we don't slip in any aspect of our life. When my dad saw I wasn't going to the gym, when my mom saw I wasn't going to the gym, both of them were on my case. Zayn, get back into the gym.
Incredible.
It was from my parents. Zayn, you're not working. Get back to work. Zayn, you're not focusing in school. Start focusing in school. My parents were always on top of, when they see a slack somewhere, they'll make sure they enforce a lot of...
Get you back on the path.
Make sure I get back on the path. That's it.
100%. Incredible to hear. And honestly, I thought your brother was your twin, honestly.
Oh, no, man. He's older than me. 21. I'm 19,
Yeah. Oh, wow. You see the resemblance.
Oh, yeah. I don't see it.
Okay.
Parents see
I
it.
understand.
The whole world sees it. When me and him talk to each other, boy, you look nothing like me.
I get you. No, I get that. Yeah. That's so funny. But so obviously they were hands-on, right? And they're very supportive, as I can imagine as well.
Yes.
So, you showing signs of wanting to do entrepreneurship at 13, for example, while you hear a lot of people and a lot of parents being against that, trying to keep you in school and focus on school, what was it like for you then? Let's take a break for a minute there, guys, because I want to introduce you to our sponsor, MyFundedFX. Now, just as I'm taking over the podcast space, they're taking over the prop firm space. Now, you can trade up to 300K with MyFundedFX. They have I bought my own simulator. I had a flight simulator at home.
£1 for each one, or 50p for each one.
Yeah.
So the margins were a lot better again than from Costco. So when I saw that, I was like, all right, cool. Everyone's already selling sweets in school. How am I going to come in and undercut everyone? Went to Costco, got them, started selling them for cheaper than everyone else was selling them.
And that was it.
Yeah.
Took out the competition.
Everyone was wiped out. And then the teachers came and wiped me out.
Oh, man. The big boss.
Yeah.
The corporations.
That's it. They shut down the company.
That's it, yeah. That's it.
ZM Sweets.
That's great, honestly. But it's amazing to hear, though. It's amazing to hear because obviously you had that sort of mindset from the beginning then. Was that just something you naturally had a flair for, do you think? Or do you think it's because of that upbringing that kind of allowed you to elevate? Yeah.
And like I said, I got it from my dad.
Yeah, definitely. Did he support your school business?
He didn't. My parents didn't know about the sweet business.
Okay.
The thing is, before I get into anything regarding business or any business idea, I would start it before I tell my parents about it. So until I see profitability, then I'll be like, Mom, I'm doing this, I make this much money. Yeah.
Definitely. It's a better way because then at least they can't stop you or put anything off until after.
And that's why my parents were very supportive. It's because before they saw the risks, they saw my consistency and profitability in every venture I got into.
Okay.
From sweets to selling jewelry to selling fake garments. Before I told them, Mom, I'm going to do this, I would do it, get money. Then I was like, Mom, I sold the stuff that we got from Turkey and I made this much money. Then she's like, all right, you know what? Just carry on doing it.
Yeah.
Then the bikes. I bought the bikes. I saw the bikes. Then I started to make money off it. And I'm like, Mom, I'm buying bikes now. Can I keep them in the garden?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my parents are actually very supportive in that field as well. Like my dad rented out a whole garage for me to put my bikes in there.
Incredible.
Yeah. So my parents really helped in every.
Of course.
venture I
Well, it's
went to.
amazing to hear because obviously, as you can imagine, the common story or theme that a lot of people talk about is
that their parents wouldn't want their kid to pursue that, especially during school.
Yeah, exactly. And not business. Go university, etc. So it's amazing to hear the other side, and not only hear the other side, but also see the result of the other side as well. It seems to have really elevated your mindset and kept you driven and maybe allowed you to get to where you are
Where
now.
I am
and-
now, definitely.
Yeah, and to continue going on, and also to hear someone pay that homage to their parents and actually be aware of the fact that they've done that, you know, and that you've experienced that. It's incredible to see.
I'm always grateful for the way my parents brought me up. I always
Perfect.
tell them,
Mm.
if it wasn't for the way, I always tell my mum, if you weren't as strict as you were, even though I hated it at the time, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
That's it. And it's so true, and that's the beautiful thing of like connecting the dots when we look back, you know.
Like my mum always said, is you'll hate me now, but then once you grow up, you'll understand.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what, you know, it leads me to one question, and it's kind of skipping forward a bit, but, you know, obviously being 19 and, you know, being as successful as you are, but yet having, say, 3,000 plus students, no doubt there's going to be people in those students who are 30 years old, 35 years old, 20 years old.
I've had a dad with 3 kids
Yeah.
message me and thanking me.
Mm.
He, as even though I'm younger than him, he respects me at that level of people around his age.
Mm.
He treats me the way he'll treat his friends. You know, even though I'm a lot younger than him and I should be looking up to him,
Yeah.
he's actually thanking me for what I've helped him.
And how do you handle that? You know, or is there anything that, you know,
It's
comes
not
with
so
that?
much how much I handle it, is more how it makes me feel.
Mm.
More how it makes me feel.
Mm.
More how it makes me feel.
Mm.
What ZM Capitals has actually done for the people.
Yeah.
You know, like I didn't realize the benefits that people actually got from being in my community
Yeah.
until I saw it firsthand.
Mm.
When I started to get those paragraphs,
Mhm.
those messages, thank you, or I just got funded.
Yeah.
All of these little things, I'm like, wow, like I was the cause of, well, not the cause of it, but I played a part in
Of course.
people reaching to that point.
Integral part, no doubt. And was there ever a feeling of like an imposter syndrome, you know, for being so young? Like, why is this person who's
No.
much older?
No, no,
Didn't feel that? That's good. That's good. Was it down to just the fact that you knew
I
you had
actually
worked hard?
respected it
Mm.
because from someone that's older, it takes a lot to speak to someone younger than you and
Definitely.
thank them, you know?
Yeah.
So I actually respected them
Yeah.
messaging me and saying,
That's it, yeah.
So people already assume I'm off age.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
no one really believes I'm 19. So I guess it's
We
a
still
good
don't
thing.
believe you.
It's
You
a good
lied.
thing.
You
It
got
took me-
lied
I
on
had
your
to press
thingy.
my license for them to really start believing I'm 19.
Even then, they'll still say,
Yeah.
like, oh, you faked it.
Yeah, not just faked it, is like for the people that didn't see that, they'll automatically assume I'm 22, 23, 24. You
Well, it's a
know?
testament to obviously the mindset and everything that you've achieved so far. But yeah, no, that's great to hear because I'm sure, no doubt, it could, if that was to happen, it might be a bit annoying because it's like, so what, you know? There's one thing obviously that experience brings, and you know, the more years obviously that you live, the more experience that you would have gained. But at the end of the day, if you are 18, 19, whatever age, and you have achieved X amount and you have worked hard for X amount, your experience will also match someone who may have worked hard and achieved it later. You know? At the end of the day, experience is experience. So you know, it's incredible to hear. So obviously the garments, for example, you know, the fake garments. Now, that's something that I didn't do fake garments actually. I did pirate DVDs.
Okay.
You know, pirate DVDs on eBay, and I only did it for like a couple months. I was shipping them in from China, and that was the first time in terms of business where I saw
There's a market for it.
there's a market for it, but also like you can make good money, you know, with very little work. So that was the first time I saw where, you know, the risk to reward factor and you know, kind of more residual side of income. And that's what opened my eyes first. Was it the same for you for that business model?
Exactly. But for me, it was when I started to sell jewelry. So when I got into selling the fake gold chains with the iced out pendants and whatnot, that's when I was like, hold on a minute, like I'm scraping about £100 a day selling fake chains. So, and the time that I took and the work that I took doesn't even equate to the amount of work people put in at a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
You know, and I was young at the time. So I thought I was the guy making all this money at a young age, you know?
Yeah.
So that's when it really opened my eyes to the whole business world. Like there's an abundance of money out there for you to get your hands on.
It's incredible. And it's so true. It's so true. And it just goes to show, look, you did sweets, you did chains, you did fake garments, you did bikes.
Yeah.
You know, you've done so many different
Phones,
things.
AirPods.
Well, there you go. It keeps going. And it's incredible to hear. But let's get into now, because obviously people, you've gone over the journey there, and you've gone over obviously, you know, how you've sort of leveled up the businesses and transitioned, and you know, amazingly, you know, the success, if anything, started before trading. You know, which I think is quite an interesting thing, because obviously most people you speak to,
And I actually, that was an advantage for me, was the fact that I had an income outside of FX, which is why I reached profitability a lot earlier.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay?
Definitely.
So this is the thing I always preach to my students, especially when you're young. Make sure you have a second income. You will not be profitable in your first account, neither second account or third account. You will reach profitability over the course of a couple.
Have to trade, while an individual trader is free to trade or stay out of the market. Banks have to be active in the bond market, and food processing companies have to be active in the grain market at almost any price. An individual trader is free to wait for the best trading opportunities. Most private traders fritter away this advantage by overtrading. An individual who wants to succeed against the giants must develop patience and eliminate greed. Remember, your goal is to trade well, not to trade often. Successful institutional traders receive raises and bonuses. Even a high bonus can feel puny to someone who earns many millions of dollars for his firm. Successful institutional traders often talk of quitting and going to trade for themselves. Most traders who leave institutions get caught up in the emotions of fear, greed, elation, and panic when they start risking their own money. They seldom do well trading for their own account. Another sign that psychology is at the root of trading success or failure. The market crowd and you. The market is a loosely organized crowd whose members bet that prices will rise or fall. Since each price represents the consensus of the crowd at the moment of transaction, all traders are in effect betting on the future mood of the crowd. That crowd keeps swinging from indifference to optimism or pessimism, and from hope to fear. Most people do not follow their own trading plans because they let the crowd influence their feelings, thoughts, and actions. Bulls and bears battle in the market, and the value of your investment sinks or soars depending on the actions of total strangers. You cannot control the markets. You can only decide whether and when to enter or exit trades. Most traders feel jittery when we enter a trade. Their judgment becomes clouded by emotions after they join the market crowd. These crowd-induced emotions make traders deviate from their trading plans and lose money. Charles Mackay, a Scottish barrister, wrote his classic book, Extraordinary Popular Delusions and the Madness of Crowds, in 1841. He described several mass manias, including the tulip mania in Holland in 1634 and the South Seas investment bubble in England in 1720. The tulip craze began as a bull market in tulip bulbs. The long bull market convinced the prosperous Dutch that tulips would continue to appreciate. Many of them abandoned their businesses to grow tulips, trade them, or become tulip brokers. Banks accepted tulips as collateral and speculators profited. Finally, that mania collapsed in waves of panic selling, leaving many people destitute and the nation shocked. Mackay sighed. Men go mad in crowds, and they come back to their senses slowly and one by one. In 1897, Gustave Le Bon, a French philosopher and politician, wrote The Crowd, one of the best books on mass psychology. A trader who reads it today can see his reflection in a century-old mirror. Le Bon wrote that when people gather in a crowd, whoever be the individuals that compose it, however like or unlike be their mode of life, their occupations, their character, or their intelligence, the fact that they have been transformed into a crowd puts them in possession of a sort of collective mind which makes them feel, think, and act in a manner quite different from that in which each individual of them would feel, think, and act were he in a state of isolation. People change when they join crowds. They become more credulous and impulsive, anxiously search for a leader, and react to emotions instead of using their intellect. An individual who becomes involved in a group becomes less capable of thinking for himself. You need to base your trades on a carefully prepared trading plan and not jump in response to price changes. It pays to write down your plan. You need to know exactly under what conditions you will enter and exit a trade. Do not make decisions on the spur of the moment, when you are vulnerable to being sucked into the crowd. You can succeed in trading only when you think and act as an individual. The weakest part of any trading system is the trader himself. Traders fail when they trade without a plan or deviate from their plans. Plans are created by reasoning individuals. Impulsive trades are made by sweaty group members. You have to observe yourself and notice changes in your mental state as you trade. Write down your reasons for entering a trade and the rules for getting out of it, including money management rules. You must not change your plan while you have an open position. Sirens were sea creatures of Greek myths who sang so beautifully that sailors jumped overboard and drowned. When Odysseus wanted to hear the sirens' songs, he ordered his men to tie him to the mast and to put wax in their own ears. Odysseus heard the sirens' songs, but survived because he could not jump. You ensure your survival as a trader when on a clear day you tie yourself to the mast of a trading plan and money management rules. Psychology of trends. Each price is the momentary consensus of value of all market participants. It shows their latest vote on the value of a trading vehicle. Any trader can put in his 2 cents worth, by giving an order to buy or to sell or by refusing to trade at the current level. Each bar on a chart reflects the battle between bulls and bears. When bulls feel strongly bullish, they buy more eagerly and push markets up. When bears feel strongly bearish, they sell more actively and push markets down. Each price reflects action or lack of action by all traders in the market. Charts are a window into mass psychology. When you analyze charts, you analyze the behavior of traders. Technical indicators help make this analysis more objective. Technical analysis is applied social psychology. It aims to recognize trends and changes in crowd behavior in order to make intelligent trading decisions. Ask most traders why prices went up, and you are likely to get a stock answer. More buyers than sellers. This is not true. The number of trading instruments, such as stocks or futures, bought and sold in any market is always equal. If you want to buy a contract of Swiss francs, someone has to sell it to you. If you want to sell short a contract of the S&P 500, someone has to buy it from you. The number of stocks bought and sold is equal in the stock market. Furthermore, the number of long and short positions in the futures markets is always equal. Prices move up or down because of changes in the intensity of greed and fear among buyers or sellers. When the trend is up, bulls feel optimistic and do not mind paying a little extra. They buy high because they expect prices to rise even higher. Bears feel tense in an uptrend, and they agree to sell only at a higher price. When greedy and optimistic bulls meet fearful and defensive bears, the market rallies. The stronger their feelings, the sharper the rally. The rally ends only when many bulls lose their enthusiasm. When prices slide, bears feel optimistic and do not quibble about selling short at lower prices. Bulls are fearful and agree to buy only at a discount. As long as bears feel like winners, they continue to sell at lower prices and the downtrend continues. It ends when bears start feeling cautious and refuse to sell at lower prices. Few traders act as purely rational human beings. There is a great deal of emotional activity in the markets. Most market participants act on the principle of monkey see, monkey do. The waves of fear and greed sweep up bulls and bears. Markets rise because of greed among buyers and fear among short sellers. Bulls normally like to buy on the cheap. When they turn very bullish, they become more concerned with not missing the rally than with getting a cheap price. A rally continues as long as bulls are greedy enough to meet sellers' demands. The sharpness of a rally depends on how traders feel. If buyers feel just a little stronger than sellers, the market rises slowly. When they feel much stronger than sellers, the market rises fast. It is the job of a technical analyst to find when buyers are strong and when they start running out of steam. Short sellers feel trapped by rising markets as their profits melt and turn into losses. When short sellers rush to cover, a rally becomes nearly vertical. Fear is a stronger emotion than greed, and rallies driven by short covering are especially sharp. Markets fall because of greed among bears and fear among bulls. Normally, bears prefer to sell short on rallies, but if they expect to make a lot of money on a decline, they don't mind shorting on the way down. Fearful buyers agree to buy only below the market. As long as short sellers are willing to meet those demands and sell at a bid, the decline continues. As bulls' profits melt and turn into losses, they panic and sell at almost any price. They are so eager to get out that they hit the bids under the market. Markets can fall very fast when hit by panic selling. Buying by happy bulls and covering by fearful bears pushes uptrends higher. Buyers feel rewarded while sellers feel punished. Both feel emotionally involved, but few traders realize that they are creating the uptrend, creating their own leader. Eventually, a price shock occurs. A major sale hits the market, and there are not enough buyers to absorb it. The uptrend takes a dive. Bulls feel mistreated, like children whose father hit them with a strap during a meal. But bears feel encouraged. A price shock plants the seeds of an uptrend's reversal. Even if the market recovers and reaches a new high, bulls feel more skittish and bears become bolder. This lack of cohesion in the dominant group and optimism among its opponents makes the uptrend ready to reverse. Several technical indicators identify tops by tracing a pattern called bearish divergence. It occurs when prices reach a new high, but the indicator reaches a lower high than it did on a previous rally. Bearish divergences mark the best shorting opportunities. When the trend is down, bears feel like good children, praised and rewarded for being smart. They feel increasingly confident, add to their positions, and the downtrend continues. New bears come into the market. Most people admire winners, and the financial media keep interviewing bears in bear markets. Bulls lose money in downtrends, and that makes them feel bad. Bulls dump their positions, and many switch sides to join bears. Their selling pushes markets lower. After a while, bears grow confident and bulls feel demoralized. Suddenly, a price shock occurs. A cluster of buy orders soaks up all available sell orders and lifts the market. Now bears feel like children whose father has lashed out at them in the midst of a happy meal. A price shock plants the seeds of a downtrend's eventual reversal because bears become more fearful and bulls grow bolder. When a child begins to doubt that Santa Claus exists, he seldom believes in Santa again. Even if bears recover and prices fall to a new low, several technical indicators identify their weakness by tracing a pattern called a bullish divergence. It occurs when prices fall to a new low, but an indicator traces a more shallow bottom than during the previous decline. An individual has a free will, and his behavior is hard to predict. Group behavior is more primitive and easier to follow. When you analyze markets, you analyze group behavior. You need to identify the direction in which groups run and their changes. Groups suck us in and cloud our judgment. The problem for most analysts is that they get caught in the mentality of the groups they analyze. The longer a rally continues, the more technicians get caught up in bullish sentiment, ignore the danger signs, and miss the reversal. The longer a decline goes on, the more technicians get caught up in bearish gloom and ignore bullish signs. This is why it helps to have a written plan for analyzing the markets. We have to decide in advance what indicators we will watch and how we will interpret them. Floor traders use several tools for tracking the quality and intensity of a crowd's feelings. They watch the crowd's ability to break through recent support and resistance levels. They keep an eye on the flow of paper, customer orders that come to the floor in response to price changes. Floor traders listen to the changes in pitch and volume of the roar on the exchange floor. If you trade away from the floor, you need other tools for analyzing crowd behavior. Your charts and indicators reflect mass psychology in action. A technical analyst is an applied social psychologist, often armed with a computer. Technical analysts believe that prices reflect everything known about the market, including all fundamental factors. Each price represents the consensus of value of all market participants. Large commercial interests and small speculators, fundamental researchers, technicians, and gamblers. Technical analysis is a study of mass psychology. It is partly a science and partly an art. Technicians use many scientific methods, including mathematical concepts of game theory, probabilities, and so on. Many technicians use computers to track sophisticated indicators. Technical analysis is also an art. The bars on a chart coalesce into patterns and formations. When prices and indicators move, they produce a sense of flow and rhythm, a feeling of tension and beauty that helps you sense what is happening and how to trade. Individual behavior is complex, diverse, and difficult to predict. Group behavior is primitive. Technicians study the behavior patterns of market crowds. They trade when they recognize a pattern that preceded past market moves. A tremendous volume of information pours out of the markets during trading hours. Changes in prices tell us about the battles of bulls and bears. Your job is to analyze this information and bet on the dominant market group. Dramatic forecasts are a marketing gimmick. People who sell advisory services or raise money know that good calls attract paying customers, while bad calls are quickly forgotten. My phone rang while I was writing this chapter. One of the famous gurus, currently down on his luck, told me that he identified a once-in-a-lifetime buying opportunity in a certain agricultural market. He asked me to raise money for him and promised to multiply it 100-fold in 6 months. I do not know how many fools he hooked, but dramatic forecasts have always been good for fleecing the public. Use your common sense when you analyze markets. When some new development puzzles you, compare it to life outside the markets. For example, indicators may give you buy signals in 2 markets. Should you buy the market that declined a lot before the buy signal, or the one that declined a little? Compare this to what happens to a man after a fall. If he falls down a flight of stairs, he may dust himself off and run up again. But if he falls out of a 3rd-story window, he's not going to run any time soon. He needs time to recover. Prices seldom rally very hard immediately after a bad decline. Successful trading stands on 3 pillars. You need to analyze the balance of power between bulls and bears. You need to practice good money management. You need personal discipline to follow your trading plan and avoid getting high in the markets. Classical chart analysis. Chartists study market action, trying to identify recurrent price patterns. Their goal is to profit from trading when patterns recur. Most chartists work with bar graphs showing high, low, and closing prices and volume. Some also watch opening prices and open interest. Point-and-figure chartists track only price changes and ignore time, volume, and open interest. Classical charting requires only a pencil and paper. It appeals to visually oriented people. Those who plot data by hand often develop a physical feel for prices. Computers speed charting at a cost of losing some of that feel. The biggest problem in charting is wishful thinking. Traders often convince themselves that a pattern is bullish or bearish depending on whether they want to buy or to sell. Chart patterns reflect the tides of greed and fear among traders. This book focuses on daily charts, but you can apply many of its principles to other data. The rules for reading weekly, daily, hourly, or intraday charts are very similar. Each price is a momentary consensus of value of all market participants expressed in action. Each price bar provides several pieces of information about the balance of power between bulls and bears.